Welcome to Tales from Tubi.
Hey Tubi friends! Welcome into a brand new episode of Tales from Tubi. For those of you who don't know what Tales from Tubi is, this is where I take my love of Tubi and my love of horror movies and I mash them together in this wonderful package. All of these movies that we talk about on Tales from Tubi are available for streaming at time of recording, so if you come to this later, hopefully they are still there streaming for you. And whether this is your first time in or you're returning for another episode, thank you so much for giving me a listen. If you love Old Man Brad, Tales from Tubi, anything I do over here, drop me a review over on your favorite podcatcher, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, whatever it is. I'd love to know what you think of the show. This week, I brought in another special guest. We did a previous episode on a movie called The Wicked One. God, it feels like forever ago. But we're back together to do the sequel, Wicked Ones from 2020. I want to welcome in Brett from Dissect That Film. How you doing, Brett?
I am doing as well as I can. Thanks for having me back on. I always get so excited to get to hang out with you. So thank you for having me back.
We'll dig into it when we get to the movie, but I know some of that excitement isn't really there. Let's just say that.
I'm excited
Spoiler
to
alert.
Talk to you, Brad.
Okay.
That's the extent of it all. Okay. Other than whatever this movie was, the excitement isn't there.
So I'm trying to remember when we talked about The Wicked One. It felt like forever ago. I think it was maybe back in October. But
I think so. Yeah.
And we both thought like it wasn't bad. It had moments that were fairly good. And since indie horror, you're not going to get the greatest. And we were like, okay, indie horror, it has moments that are great. There's a really good premise and movie in there. And then I was like, you know what? Let's come back. Let's watch the sequel. And we got to see the sequel. Without further ado, we're just gonna jump right into it. Let's talk Wicked Ones.
I've driven more crazies across the Midwest than I care to mention. Jesus.
So lame that I'd have to get a ride with my parents to a gig.
But honey, we love taking you to your gigs.
I'm gonna go get the key.
Still staring at the board, eh, Burke? Do you know how many people have died at the hands of Colin Miller? Colin Miller is dead.
Real quick, before we dig into spoilers of this side, what were your initial thoughts of Wicked Ones?
Okay. Well, first of all, as soon as I put this movie on, I put it on in my living room. My wife was there. And as soon as I clicked on the movie and I saw the runtime, and I went, oh, dear God. This can't be, right? Like, the first one was a nice 90-minute runtime. Perfect. Beautiful. What was this? Close to 2 hours?
It's close. I think it was like
oh, my Lord.
145, 150 maybe, something like that.
And for that entire runtime, you feel every minute of the runtime. This is a movie that doesn't know what it wants to be. It really does. It took a pretty decent concept from that first movie, and it just overcomplicated itself.
Yes, absolutely did.
It really took, because the first one is it's kind of like a Halloween clone type movie. Somebody, the director clearly loves Halloween and wanted to kind of
make his own slasher, his own,
do something. And he just went Halloween 2 on this one. He went Rob Zombie Halloween 2 on this one.
Halloween 2 mixed with some Devil's Rejects.
Oh my God. And to be honest, I'm a fan of the Devil's Rejects. I'm one of the few people who actually doesn't mind Halloween 2.
That's unfortunate, but okay.
We all have unique tastes, right, Brad?
That's right. That is true. That is true.
But oh my God. This is just, I just lost track of what was going on in this movie. I didn't know who anybody was.
Yes. There were multiple times in this film where I was like, wait a second, who is this person again? What are we doing with this person now? I don't know. Is this a flashback? Is this a present. Yes.
No clear time differences.
And you feel the runtime. You feel it.
God, every minute. This was a movie where there were times I was taking my phone out, looking at things, checking the time, checking if I had notifications from whatever, just hoping there was something. Because I'm the type of guy who, like, of course, I watched it to be on the show. And so I'm going to watch the whole thing. But yes, this was a movie I could not concentrate on. It was just so hard because it's just like, what is going on?
And you and I both watch quite a few movies on Tubi. So it's not they're all the greatest movies in the world, but I will usually, I'll fight through it. But I was with you. Like, I was just like, okay, I need to be doing something else, or let's speed it up a little bit. Where's the speed button? Let's make this faster.
Yeah. Because the thing is in the first one, like we stated, it's got like a core killer. It's Michael Myers type character. And then
they just call him the Wicked One in that one.
Cool concept. I liked it, even for what the movie was. And so I was excited to see what the director was going to do with this character in the sequel. I don't know what the budget was. Was the budget higher in this one? Do we even know numbers?
No, you know what? I don't know. That's one thing I did not look up was budget on this, but I can't imagine. I mean, these are pretty low budget. I don't know. I don't know if it was higher or the same as the previous one.
But the thing is the character just disappears.
Yeah.
Like, that killer just disappears, and we focus on these two other killers.
Well, it's Wicked Ones. We're plural now, so we're going to have more.
It's too much.
Here, I'm going to read the synopsis of the movie, and then we can dig into full spoilers and everything. While returning to Carpenter Falls, the Lawson family come to their final confrontation with the Wicked Ones, a serial killer with whom their last encounter has haunted them for a decade.
So it's been a decade since the first one?
First one came out in 2017. This one was 2020, but
it released. Was it a decade between the first movie and the second movie? Like, in
I think so, because
universe?
Because this family, they had a kid, and the kid was like much older.
Okay, all right.
Like, I don't think they were married in the first one, and then now they have the
same exact age.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Same people. Like, at first, it took me a second at first trying to remember. I was like, I haven't watched the first one that long ago to forget these characters.
Who are you again?
But I will say it did open with a montage of kills with the Wicked One, whose name is Cullen Miller. And I thought that was kind of cool. It started off fairly well. I was like, okay, I can get into this. And then it just kind of goes weird. Like, dialogue was weird. There was a hotel room dialogue scene between the two where they're sitting there. It just felt odd.
Yeah. And to be honest, my favorite characters from this movie are the couple, the ones that are survivors from the first movie. You got the husband there who died 4 times in the first one, somehow is still alive. I liked their family camaraderie. I felt like they felt the most real of anybody in this movie, because everybody else is just a cartoon character. Or you have, like I said, the killer, our core Wicked One, is just kind of absent for most of the movie and just kind of shows up. He's like, hey, I'm here, guys. This is my movie.
And now you have these, what were they? They were like obsessed with him, kind of like almost fanboys. There were some that were like that. And then, like, I wrote down, I go, is this supposed to be like the Firefly family now, like from Devil's Rejects? And I even wrote down, or Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 with the woman in white. There was like a ghost woman in white. And I'm like, okay, I see where you're going. You've watched, you said it, Halloween 2 and everything. We're like, yep, he watched these. He started off at Halloween. Now he's like, ooh, I like these movies. I'm going to try to throw some supernatural elements in there, which made no sense at all. And
nope. There was just scenes that just were so drawn out and unnecessary. Yes. There's the scene where I think it was the daughter, or it was the girlfriend of the son. I don't know any of the characters' names, by the way. Everybody listening, this movie that's how forgettable this movie is, where I don't know anyone. But I think it was the daughter or the girlfriend of the son. They get kidnapped by the two sadistic siblings, and one of them, and she gets sexually assaulted, and it goes on for so long, and it's so unnecessary. And it was like trying to make him like be like this. I mean, he was evil,
yeah,
for doing what he was doing, but it was just like, this character is so unnecessary. Like, it was too much. This guy, like I stated earlier in the episode, this movie didn't know where it wanted to be.
No, it did
not
want
to be a horror, like, killer movie, like a Halloween, or is it trying to be like a Last House on the Left? Like, what are you trying to do? Like, you got to pick a lane, and you can't. If you pick too many lanes, it just gets too bloated, and like you're sitting there going, what are we doing here?
Yes, I feel like the director Tori Jones was just, he wanted to really expand the mythos of this to make it like a bigger thing to carry it on, but tried to throw, I think, way too much into the second film.
Yeah.
And I mean, he already had just a straight up slasher going. Why not continue that and maybe add little pieces to kind of go along? Because we are getting a third one of these that I believe is a prequel called The Boy from Below. So I think that one is a prequel to these two. So we get to go back.
So we get to see our core wicked one before he becomes the wicked one? Is that what I'm getting?
I think so, but I'm not 100% sure. It looks like the third one's going to have Dee Wallace in it, though. So,
all right, sign me up. Always down for Dee Wallace.
So we're going to have to watch it now.
You got me. You got me, Brad. I didn't know how you were going to get me for this third one, but you got me. You said Dee Wallace.
And I did write down, I said there is a decent movie, I believe, in there. In everything that we got. If it would just like tighten up, take some unnecessary length out of it. Like, another part that I felt was overly long was this concert that they were going to. That it felt like there were like 10 people in a gym.
I was gonna say, was that really a concert?
Yeah.
Like, it looked like a talent show. Like, what are we doing?
Well, and I don't know if you noticed, like, when the band was playing and like the crowd sounds, they made it sound like they were in some kind of arena where it was like a big crowd, and you just look around, there's like 10 people. They're just kind of just like dancing around. You can't play crowd
music like that and then pan around the room and then people are just going,
yay,
thanks.
They gave me lunch to be here. But like that, like, it was just, you didn't need to be in that scene. It felt like 20 minutes. I don't know if it was 20 minutes we were on it, but before we moved, like that was a problem with this movie the entire time. You'd go from scene to scene and it would overstay its welcome. Mm-hmm. And I think tightening that up for sure could have, I mean, like we said, the first one's on 90 minutes. And even then there were a few times where like, okay, it could have been tightened up here, but overall it was not bad. I wouldn't say, I mean, we both gave it a 2, but a 2 for me is still like, I'd go back and watch it maybe someday. Who knows? This one, I don't know if I would. Honestly, I don't know if I would.
Yeah, there's just, like, we're talking about Rob Zombie, and, one of the major complaints from people when it comes to Rob Zombie is the dialogue that he puts in his movies.
Yeah.
This movie is very infamous for that. He definitely took Rob Zombie's dialogue and inserted it in there, because you have, like, the son is a musician. Mm-hmm. He's in a band, and I don't know if there was one of the guys that was a band member, but he's always just off getting high or whatever. And they stop off in the middle of nowhere. And then he just like wanders off and finds a gravestone and then gets his dick chopped off.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. I don't know why that was something I just, remember that part?
Remember that scene?
Yeah, and like what he was talking, because no joke, everybody, this movie has a scene where a guy gets really high, wanders into a field or the edge of the woods, finds one gravestone, just one. It's not a cemetery. It's one gravestone. He reads the name on it. I think it had something to do with
the wicked one,
the family of the wicked one. And he masturbates over the gravestone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then gets his dick chopped off. And I went, okay.
There were a lot other odd scenes. Like there was an EMT, like an ambulance, and it runs over a lady, and they're like, "Jesus, what happened? What happened to this lady?" And they're like, "You just ran her over, dude. Like, why do you seem shocked by this? You hit her." And they're like, "What happened?"
Can we do like a watch along and we're just not sober for it? Okay. Because that's I feel like the only way I can watch this movie again. I need to be obliterated with a friend.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, the first one I probably could just put on as like a Halloween. I'm just going to throw on some random slasher. This one, I don't think I could
do something interesting with that first one. He gave us a cool lore dump for the Wicked one. You got to see.
I mean, he had him ride in on a horse and stuff in the first one. So,
and then the second one, it was just like just vomit of just everything. Like he was just, I'm not here to bash indie filmmakers because I know it's
love
indie filmmakers, but it's
yes, I agree.
We're here to talk about a movie. I'm not going to sugarcoat and be like, I really like this movie. It's great. No, this movie is not good. And not because it's a low budget film. I'm not talking about the fact that it's low budget bad. I'm just talking about the fact that, like, I don't care if you're low budget. You can still write a better movie. You can still give us better characters and characters that I care about, not whatever this was.
And it's not just that. Like, I love indie film too, and I'm not here to like bash that. He gave us a decent film previously. That's right. That's the thing. Exactly. Like, this is the second one, and it got worse. Like, he just tried to cram way, way, way too much into this, and didn't know where to go, didn't know what to do, trying to be Rob Zombie, like trying to mix a pot of Rob Zombie in there, stir it up, and then let's see what I can make.
Oh, 100%. Couldn't agree more. It's a the third one coming out, it's a prequel. It's got Dee Wallace. I definitely want to see more. If he gave us a third film, even if it wasn't a prequel, even if he gave us a third film that was strictly about the Wicked One again, and kind of, that's the thing. It's like, I understand it's called The Wicked Ones, but to be honest, those Wicked Ones, the two siblings that join him, are the biggest problem for me in this movie.
Absolutely.
Between the dialogue being really bad, they're just way over the top.
Well, yeah, the woman, what was her name? She was trying way, way too hard to be Sherry Moon Zombie,
Harley Quinn.
Yeah. She was like way too over the top, and I was like, you're trying too hard. This isn't working for you.
And then the other one was, I don't even know what this dude was doing. I don't even know if he knew what movie he was a part of. He was just going so deep into these just disturbing monologues, and I give credit to the actor for, clearly that's what either the director wanted or what, he was like, hey, can I do this? And the director was like, sure. And he does it. And the director's like, cool, that's great. And so kudos to him. It wasn't terrible. It just doesn't fit for what I remember seeing in that first one. Like, it's just, they don't feel like they link together.
Aside from the two survivors, and then the Wicked one with his mask.
Yeah, who shows up for, I think he's in this movie for like 5 minutes. At least it feels like it to me.
Yeah,
because like he's in this movie for very long.
It definitely feels like it's more set trying to do more of a mythos, with the other two setting up this ghost lady that I didn't really get. I mean, that's how I felt with Halloween 2, was like, why is she this ghost lady in white? Like
white, yeah.
And it just didn't make any sense. Well, I don't want to sit here and like bitch about the movie. Like, I love the Wicked one. I love his mask, and I enjoy the first one wasn't bad. So go watch the first one. The second one, and I will check out the third one. And the synopsis that's just on IMDb for the third one just says, a horror nerd must put her IQ to the test in order to survive, as she finds herself targeted by a creepy killer in a creepy truck on Halloween.
Sign me up.
So I don't know if it's a prequel. I don't know if it's a sequel. It has the same mask on the cover. So I don't know. Right. We'll see. I just know Dee Wallace is in it, so I'm all in. before we finish up Wicked Ones, what would you rate this? I know you and I we watch movies on Letterboxd, especially if there's something we're going to talk about on our shows or guests on or whatever, and we don't put our ratings until, the episodes come out. So we have not revealed our ratings at all for this movie.
I am going to give it a 1 star. I was debating on giving it a half, but I was like, I won't be that mean. It does. I know what it was trying to do.
Yeah. To
a degree. I like the returning, our survivors. Those were the only kind of characters I cared about to a degree, except for I do want to mention there's possibly one of the most disgusting scenes in this movie was watching a child eat. I don't remember what she was eating, but there's a scene where they bring the daughter somewhere and she's eating in like the most disgusting way possible.
Yes. She was eating like an animal or like a bird or something. She was just like, and the dad makes a comment about her eating.
Yeah. He's just like, what the hell are you doing? Like, it was so disgusting. But
I don't know if that was written in or if it was like hey, just do something.
Yeah. Okay. Just kind of get to know each other type thing. That was what they did. They were like, they took the cast. And they're like, okay, you got to act like a family. So we're going to bring you somewhere and you guys just talk, pretend like there's no cameras on you, but we're going to film you and do your thing. Yeah. 1 star for me. Not much Wicked One in there.
No.
A lot of the other characters other than our returning characters are just awful. They're just not well-rounded. They're not fleshed out. They're just horrible dialogue. I mean, kudos to a dude. I on my bingo card, I did not expect in this movie that I was going to witness a man masturbating over a gravestone getting his dick chopped off. So kudos for that.
Yeah. I'm glad I could check that off your list.
Yeah, I guess that. Oh shit! I guess that was there. Oh, okay. So yeah, 1 out. 1 out of 5.
Yeah, I think I land the same way. It's a 1, and it is for a lot of the same reasons. There are some cool stuff in there. It just took what we got from the first one and just really muddled it up. It just kind of became this hot mess of I don't know what's going on. So it didn't work. Didn't work at all. Thank you, Brett, for watching this second movie. I know it was a little rough, but
oh no, it was fine.
You'll be back.
Talk about it.
We'll have you back for obviously the third one whenever that comes out, and then we'll have you back for or something. Maybe something with May Kelly in it or something like that. We'll just
I got to dive into the May Kelly pool there. Brad talks her up all the time.
Tell everybody where they could find Dissect That Film. Or what you guys are all about.
Oh, well, so we are a podcast that literally dissects plots of movies. Me and my co-host, Dan and Angela, we literally go through the entire plot of the movie. We talk about it. We joke about it. We have a good time. Brad's been on an episode. We talked about League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes.
Actually, Brad's been on like every show that we do over there. Our TV show and our new release movies. We talked about Winnie the Pooh.
We did. Which part 2 comes out this year.
Coming back. Yeah, let's do it. But yeah, we talk about movies. We take couch conversations like you would, like if you're hanging out with friends, you're watching a movie at home, or even if you go to the theater and you have like those just normal conversations about the movie. That's what we do on the podcast. We literally it's just friends talking about movies, and we have a great time doing it. So currently we're on a break. But we'll be back in February, so stay tuned for more fun stuff going on there. But you can find us on any social media app. I'm still calling it Twitter. I'm not calling it X. I don't care. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, TikTok.
All the things.
All the things. Literally, we're on all the social medias. And you can find us on all the podcast apps. We're on YouTube at Dissect That Film, everywhere. Thank you, Brad.
Go look them up, and cannot wait for you to come back. Now, usually, I'm trying something new here. Is there before we say goodbye? I always like in every episode to try to do a recommendation for something they can watch at home. Is there something on Tubi right now that you could think of that someone should go watch? Not Wicked Ones.
Well, I'm gonna recommend a movie that I don't know if it's gonna be a movie that I'm like, I highly recommend you watch this. But I just started a new series over on, it's a YouTube exclusive series where I am actually following along with another podcast in the movies they cover.
Mm-hmm.
They're called Vintage Video Pod, and they literally cover movies for one whole year, like every release for a single year.
Wow, that's a lot.
So they just started 1982. And so I said, because I have nothing better to do than to add more to my plate, I said, I'm going to start a series where I'm going to follow along their podcasts. I'm going to watch those movies, and I do like 5-6 minute episodes up on YouTube. It's on YouTube and TikTok. And the movie that I just did an episode for is called Island of Blood. It's a slasher from 1982.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it's good. I'm not going to say it's bad. I want people to watch it and let me know. It's on Tubi right now. That's why I'm recommending it. Hopefully a lot of these movies will be on Tubi because Tubi's the best. And yeah, so Island of Blood.
Island of Blood. I have not heard of this one. I will definitely add it to my list.
Yeah, so watch it and then go over to our YouTube channel, go to the video, and leave me a comment on what you thought. Or you can go to TikTok, either one, or DM me on Twitter. I don't care, but let me know what you thought of Island of Blood.
Island of Blood.
You'll be able to hear the video shows my thoughts, but I want to know what your thoughts are.
All right. Well, on my way out, I'm going to recommend, because today, the day we're recording this is on a Tuesday, and every week I do Tubi Tuesday. So over on social media, I give a theme, and you watch movies along the theme. And this week we were doing Michael Caine movies, and I watched Dressed to Kill, Brian De Palma movie. I had never seen it.
I had never seen it.
It is a full giallo movie. You can see heavily the giallo influence in this film, and it was pretty good. I honestly will say.
I thought you were going to say I watched Jaws: The Revenge starring Michael Caine.
I did not. I don't think that's on Tubi right now. It was over the summer, not. But it is not there right now. But yeah, go check out Dressed to Kill from Brian De Palma starring Michael Caine. It is a pretty good movie. Pretty good. Thank you for joining me on another Tales from Tubi, and we're definitely going to have you back. It doesn't have to be Tales from Tubi. We'll have you back for another horror movie, something a little different next time. Change it up.
Thank you for having me on. This is a lot of fun. Even if it's a movie we don't necessarily like, it's definitely fun to talk about movies.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun getting to hang out with you and getting to talk Tubi movies.
Well, that will do it for another episode of Tales from Tubi. Just make sure you subscribe to Old Man Brad, and you'll never miss any of the Tales from Tubi series or any of my other episodes. I have some great interviews lined up coming for you very soon, so you won't want to miss those. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.